Hello, yogis. My name is Alicia Finley. Welcome to your yoga mat. Today we are going to do a brief wake up and flow kind of a practice and get the whole body movement moving, remembering that movement is medicine. And I was listening to a friend recently, and she was talking about remembering the importance of getting to choose our point of focus. And in the yoga practice, one of the ways we do that is using what we call the drishti. Your drishti is your gaze. And in every pose, there's a space, a spot where you're looking. It might be past the hand, it might be to the palm, it might be towards the navel, heart, feet. And she realized that she could use that ability to, I'm choosing my focus, I'm choosing where I point my attention on the mat, and realizing that we can also do that off of our mat, which is a really powerful thing. So that when things are going maybe in the direction we don't want them to go, we realize in this moment I can choose where I'm putting attention. This is a very powerful thing. I can choose where I'm putting attention. And so we'll use the practice today. We'll really focus on the drishti and use that using maybe a mantra to help us create this anchor so that when you find yourself maybe getting pulled or distracted, you realize that in this moment, again, I have a choice. I can choose where I put my attention. And there is a difference between, am I avoiding my feelings? We're not talking about that. We want to allow feelings to be there. This is more we're talking about in the space where we find ourselves maybe perseverating over something that's happened a while ago and where it just doesn't feel healthy or helpful, okay? Either for ourselves or maybe even other people. So, to get started today, let's take the hands and bring them together in front of the heart. And take your arms and begin to circle them wide, and inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Eyes can be open or closed. And exhale, bring your hands together into the heart. Reach the arms up, breathe in. Exhale. Circling the energy around you one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Take a moment and set an intention. So one of the mantras that I like to use comes from Ram Dass, and it is, my life is my practice. I love it when moments are joyful, and I love that mantra when moments are hard. It helps me remember that there is something to be learned in every moment. And then release your chin towards your chest. Let your hands come down to your legs. Inhale, lift your chin. Good. Let's come around. We're going to move towards a tabletop position. And we're going to take our left forearm down to the ground, right under your shoulder. Your elbow is under your shoulder. And your right fingertips are going to be basically in line with your left elbow. We'll take the right leg back behind us. And for a moment, just like stretch through the calf. Rock a little forward and back. I'm staying a little back. Feels good. And then shift your weight forward. Draw your low belly in. And lift your right leg till it's parallel just off the floor. Good. And then you're going to exhale. Tap your right foot off to the right. And then tap your right foot over to the left. Tap your right foot over to the right. Tap your right foot over as you exhale to the left. So you're going to find a rhythm to the right and to the left. And if you want a little more challenge, you can let your right leg lift so it's hovering off the ground. Flex your foot and your toes point forward towards your head. Now your drishti is going to follow your foot. So follow the right foot and still follow the right foot. Look over the shoulder. To the right with the gaze and to the left. 3 more. Right and left. Last 2. And left. 1 more. Right and left. Good. Now swing that right leg forward. Push into that left arm. See if you can get the left hand down. Draw your right leg forward and cross it in front of your left leg. Open up your feet And walk your arms forward. Bow your forehead down towards the floor. Stretch your groins back behind you. Giving a real just easy opening here into those outer hips. You might feel it into the center of the glutes. And your gaze right now can be towards kind of the third eye space. So if your eyes are closed, just kind of imagining gazing towards sort of the midbrain, which is kind of a harder spot to imagine, but just give it a whirl. And then walk your hands back in underneath you. Uncross your left knee from behind your right knee. Open up your feet. And now let your hips just sway a little bit side to side. Ooh, that feels good. Oh, little snap, crackle, pop if you get that. Those little air pockets. Pretty normal. You feel some cracking. We call that vata. Vata means wind energy. Okay, now we're going to switch it around. Right forearm is going to come down, right elbow right under your shoulder, left fingertips in line with your left hip. Take your left foot, stretch your left leg back, and a little forward and back rocking motion. Good. And like I did on the first side, if you like, maybe you just stay in one spot, press back through that calf. And then bring the weight forward. Lift the sides of the waist up a little bit and lift your left leg up. You're going to tap your left leg. So you're going to find a rhythm in your breath. Now maybe this is the inhale. And then the tap over on the back side, off to your right side of your mat. You look over towards that foot. That's the exhale. Or maybe it's the opposite. Doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're breathing in succession with your movement. Tap. So you're tapping left. Now your gaze is following that left foot. And tap right. Tap left. Tap right. Your left elbow, watch it, shouldn't be winging out. Keep that left elbow hugging in like a chaturanga arm. And maybe some of you are now starting to hover that left leg so it's parallel to the floor. Watch that left elbow. And you're going to notice this side might feel harder, and either it is harder, but your hips also have worked. They're both working here. So this side's going to feel probably a little more fatigued because the first side already worked. Last time. Tap, swing it out, and you're going to push into that right forearm, get the right hand back underneath you, draw that left knee towards your chest, and swing your left leg in front of your right leg so your knees stack, and bow your forehead to the floor. Arms stretch out, and again, the groins go back as much as they can. The more the groins go back and we get that dip in the low back, you're going to notice perhaps more of a stretch through the glutes. Lift the waistline up just a hair. Push into the palms, lift the armpits up, and hug your hands together. Good. Walk your hands back underneath you. Unwind your legs. And one more time, just little rock side to side. Because it felt so good on the first side, we can't neglect it on the second side. Side to side. Now your drishti is staying steady between your thumbs, between your hands. Good. Tuck your toes. And now downward facing dog. Now, down dog, I tend to gaze between my feet. You could gaze up a little bit more toward your navel. I find that pulls too much on my neck. What we want is the ears in line with the biceps. So a natural focal point for my body today feels between my feet. So with your biceps alongside your ears, hug your hands in, push down and forward with your hands, and find a spot, your drishti, that doesn't move. And as you breathe and you keep your focus, you remember, my life is my practice. Lift your heels, breathe in, and slowly tiptoe forward towards the top of your mat, coming to a forward bend. Lengthen your spine as you breathe in. Now your knees can be a bit bent here, and exhale, fold, relax your head, and bow. You can bend the knees a lot, really rest the belly on the thighs. And we're going to clasp our hands behind our back, take a shoulder stretch. Now, if your hands don't clasp, you could grab a strap here. I didn't have you get any props today. That was on purpose. But if you need props, like props, prefer them, please always grab them.
Now take the shoulders out of the ears. You can see I got a lot of length there. And then re-extend the arms up and over. Let your hands come down to the ground. Bend those knees and inhale. Let's roll it up. Vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming all the way up to standing. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Good. Keep your feet about hip width apart. Reach your arms up to chair pose. Breathe in. Exhale, airplane them back. Breathe in. Airplane them back. Now I might exhale out the mouth. I invite you to do the same. Just start to move energy. I'm even picking up the pace a little, letting those arms feel a little more free. 2 more. 1 more. Push to stand, breathe in. And I want you to sort of shake the arms as you exhale and let the arms release all the way down. Good. And just kind of keep shaking the arms a little bit just to move the energy. Good. And now find some stillness. Focus on your drishti, a point in front of you, and slow your breathing down. You might notice some movement energetically in the body, maybe a little tingling, little warmth. Our life is our practice. This time on our mat prepares us for the real practice that happens when we step off. Reach the arms up, breathe in. Look up to your palms. Exhale, wide arms straddle. I'll get my words down. Hands all the way down to the ground. Inhale. Now when you do a half high, you're looking down. You're not cranking your neck forward. You're looking down at the ground. Your neck stays long. Exhale, plant your hands, plank pose. Now likely right now your gaze is between your thumbs, but I want you to shift it about 12 to 16 inches in front of your fingertips, like you're making a triangle between your hands in plank and your drishti, which is the point in front. And you're going to keep your gaze there. Bend the elbows. You can always put your knees down. Chaturanga. Now the gaze, the drishti starts to lift as you look forward into up dog or cobra. So right now my thighs are down. That's cobra. Thighs lift, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Now where did you take your gaze there? I'm going to go back between my feet. That feels good in my neck. And it keeps me nice and grounded looking at the earth. Lift your heels, breathe in. Look to your thumbs, bend your knees, step or float towards those hands. Lengthen. Now my gaze moves out in front of me. Exhale, fold. Now you're going to look more towards your navel. Reverse your swan dive. Your gaze goes up towards your hands. And exhale, hands to the heart. Your drishti moves right in front of you. How'd that feel? It might feel new for some of you. Some of you know it and we just kind of forget it. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach up. Forward fold. Gaze to the navel. Inhale, gaze in front of you. Now if you're going to jump back, move the gaze out in front. Chaturanga. Heart forward, legs back. Inhale, up dog cobra. Lift the chest. Shoulders roll back. Exhale, down dog. Take the gaze back between your feet or where it feels good in your body for your downward facing dog. Take a full breath. Breathe in. Full breath. Empty it out. Now keep the drishti there, right? You get to choose your focus. Inhale, lift your heels, look to your thumbs. Bend your knees, step or float. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look towards your belly. Forward fold. Reverse your swan dive, reach in, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time, inhale. Look up. Exhale to the navel. Inhale, slightly in front of you. Exhale, keep the gaze there, chaturanga. Notice that gaze doesn't move for that transition there. Now it moves forward, up dog cobra. Exhale, back to the feet with the gaze, down dog. Take your right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot's going to step forward and through in between your hands. Take your back knee down to the ground. Start to circle your arms up, and you're going to take them all the way back. Circle up. So you can see I'm kind of deepening in my lunge, and then I'll back off. Again, one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now reach up. Breathe in.
Bend your left elbow. Take your right hand to that elbow to a half Gomukhasana arm. Your drishti is staying straight in front of you. And so as you're going to tip to the right now, you're going to keep the drishti where you had it. So outer body may move, the arms moved, but the drishti is staying focused. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Now left hand off to the left in line with your left knee. Reach your right arm up and over to the left. Keep the tailbone anchoring down. Swim your right arm in front of you. Hands frame that front foot, back knee up. Down dog kick. Inhale. Bend the knee and open up your hip. Good. Now, we're going to come forward like we're coming to a plank. Your right leg is still lifted. Just step it right behind you. Reach your right arm up towards the sky. Good. Now, if you're feeling like you want more of a back bend, you can lift the hips up, but not necessary. So just kind of feel around with it here. And then exhale, you're going to sit down just for a moment towards the back of your mat. Reach your right arm forward. Now I want you to take your thumb and your index finger together and rest it right on your knee. Lift your chest nice and tall. Keep that left hand pointing forward, left toes to the sky. Now watch your right hand. Push into the right foot and the outer edge of your left foot and keep following your right hand. Lift the hips. Now if you want to take the arm to the sky, less back bend, you can. And keep following the right hand. Exhale, bring the hips back down. Inhale, lift, reach. I like to come on the ball of my right foot. Feels good in my body. Exhale, you might like to keep this right foot flat. One more time. Inhale, follow the gaze. Now this time you're going to come around to plank. Right foot sweeps around. Now if you're tired here, you could skip chaturanga. Exhale. Up dog cobra. And down dog. Exhale. Take a full breath in. Take a full breath out. Left leg reaches up to the sky. Breathe in. You're going to make left foot forward. Miss Luna, a little tricky. Left foot forward in between the hands. Back knee down. Now we're going to go the opposite direction you did with your arm circle. So I went forward, now I'm going to go back. So circle back and down. So you're still making circles. I'm still kind of ebbing and flowing a little bit out of that lunge. This time when the arms get back up, you're going to keep them there. Breathe in. Bend the right elbow. Take the left hand to the right elbow. Focus your drishti. Side bend over to the left. Now it's a good time to have a mantra as I have a huge distraction here. My life is my practice. Distractions are part of our life, people. Good. Inhale, come back up. It's between licking and getting bit. That's what's happening right now. Hands down to the ground. Tuck the toes, back knee up. Down dog kick. Inhale. Now we're going to come over to a side plank. So come toward plank first. Makes it a little more friendly to get into. And then step that left foot behind you and come all the way to seated. Take the mudra. Index and middle finger, or index and thumb come together and rest on your left knee. Look at your left hand. You're going to keep following that palm. Keep your right shoulder blade on the back, shoulder back. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Push into your left foot. Follow your left hand. Kind of a wild thing variation, and then set it back down. Notice my toes go back up towards the sky, and my palm faces up. Push, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Now we're coming around to plank. Exhale. Plank pose. Breathe in. Chaturanga. Up dog cobra. Breathe in. Down dog. Exhale. Hips to the sky. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, how can we come back to center using that mantra? Come back to your breath. Lift your heels. Inhale. Gaze to your thumbs. Look forward. Step or float. Half high. Breathe in. Gaze in front of your fingertips. Exhale. Fold. Gaze towards the navel center. Reverse your swan dive. Inhale. Reach up to the sky. Palms connect over your head. Exhale. Hands to the heart. Arms release by your sides. Samastitihi. Very good. Reach the arms up to the sky. Breathe in. Forward fold. Exhale. Inhale. Lengthen. Exhale. Left foot steps back. Back heel is going to seal down. Warrior two. Inhale. Cartwheel all the way up. Exhale, forearm to thigh. You're going to take side angle pose. Top palm, turn it down. It's going to go over your ear. And I want you to gaze towards your left palm. Keep pushing into that back foot. Push into your right forearm so there's space on the right side of your neck. And reverse your warrior. Inhale, lean it back. Good. Now you're going to come to goddess pose. Heels in, toes out. Turn your palms up. Inhale. And we're going to take Ganesha Mudra. You're going to take, this time we'll take left palm in front of right, and you're going to grip your hands and try to pull them apart. Sink down a little deeper. Good. And a little deeper. Now I want you to lift your heels as you breathe in, and without dropping your heels, exhale, slowly lower them. Keep your drishti centered on a point. Breathe in, lift your heels, even if you wobble. Exhale, lower the heels. One more time, inhale. Can you push into the balls of the feet without gripping your toes and lower your heels? Good. Reach your arms to the sky. Breathe in. And exhale, turn your back toes in, your right toes out. Trikonasana, reach forward and down. Good. Take a full breath. Look up towards your left palm. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now cartwheel your hands down to the ground. We're going to come to a standing split. I'm going to scooch my right foot back a little bit and lift the left leg up. You can take your right hand to your right ankle if you like, working a little bit of balance. Maybe even the left hand. And your drishti is going to focus on the floor. I like to look right in front of my toes, something that's not moving. And those of you, if you wanted to warm up and move a little more, you could do a couple of hops, keeping the standing leg lifted. Bend your standing leg, look between your thumbs. And while they're balancing, you can take a couple hops. Maybe you find a moment, and it may be just a teeny little hop, where you might find a little air. Good. And forward fold, top leg down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold and bow. Turn your left toes out. Right leg is still your standing leg. And we're going to come up towards tree pose. Now, your left foot can stay right there, or you can start to slide it up as your body comes up. Left foot moves up your right leg. You may have to grab the ankle and grab that foot to help bring it up towards your inner thigh. Maybe reach the arms out like a V. Bringing back the mudra of your thumb and index fingers coming together. Push your outer right hip into your left foot. Stand strong into your right leg. One more breath. Good. Release your arms down. Slowly slide your left leg down. Clasp your hands behind your back. Your second favorite way. Roll your chest open. Inhale. Belly to thighs. Exhale. Forward fold. Take a breath and release your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, right foot steps back. Left foot is your forward leg. Warrior two. Inhale, cartwheel all the way up. Now, drishti right here is to your left middle finger. Strong in that back leg. Side angle, left forearm on your left thigh. Watch your hand, watch your palm. Right arm's going to go over your ear. Keep pushing into that back foot. And then we're going to come up to goddess. Hug your feet in. Inhale, heels in, toes out. Exhale. Now your other hand's in front and your goddess grip. Okay, my right hand's in front. Tug your hands apart. Inhale, lift your heels. Slow, controlled, lower your heels. Lift your heels. Lower your heels. Notice nothing really is moving other than the lower half of your legs. Inhale, lift your heels. Lower your heels. Keep the tailbone grounding. One more inhale. Exhale. Push to the sky, breathe in. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out, triangle pose, reach long, breathe in. Left arm down, right arm to sky. Maybe look up. That's where the drishti goes in triangle. It can be hard on the neck for some of us, so you might need to look forward. You may look down towards your left foot. Watch those toes that they aren't gripping. Unhinge those toes. Very good. And then cartwheel down. Exhale. Scoot your left foot back so it's under your belly button. Pick your right leg up. Now either keep both hands on the ground or maybe left hand holds left ankle, standing L shape. Keep your drishti in front of the left toes. Maybe right hand also goes there. Or some of you, if you want to fly just a little bit, gaze between your thumbs. Keep that lifted leg strong and straight. Lift up and down a couple of times. Push into your hands, push into the earth. And slow, everybody lower. Top leg down. Inhale. Gaze slightly in front of your fingertips. Exhale, fold. Stand in your right foot. Turn your right knee out to the right. You're externally rotating the leg. Now, slowly coming to triangle pose. Either bring hands to hips as you slide your right foot up your left leg, or maybe grab the ankle, bring it all the way up. Arms can reach out like a V. Thumb and index fingers connect. The drishti can stay forward. If you're feeling unsteady, look down at the floor about 6 feet in front of you. If you're feeling like you want to open to possibilities, maybe try looking up, noticing the fun that comes in the wobble. And then slowly, arms release by your sides as your right foot comes down to the ground. Inhale, reach up, palms reach to the sky, gaze to your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Where are you looking? Drishti's at the navel. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Pause in your plank, breathe in. Slowly lower to your knees. Very good, yogis. Let's come up on our shins. We're going to come up for camel pose. Now, if you're working with any kind of back pain here, you can sit back on the heels and do more of a heart opener where your right fingertips are going to reach behind you and your left arm goes more up. Sometimes camel, and then you'll switch it, left hand behind you and right arm up. Here, if you did have a block, the narrow way between the inner thighs is really helpful to help keep the inner thighs active as well as the outer part of the leg. So groins go back, tail down, pubic bone lifts up, and your hands, fingertips pointing down, or some of you might even be able to point the fingertips up. Lift your chest. Keep lifting. Your drishti is going up towards the sky. If you wave a hand and there's a heel, then you're ready to reach back for the heels. If it's not there today, just keep your hands on your hips. Keep the hips forward over the knees. They gaze towards the sky, or if you need a little bit more grounded energy, look down towards your chest. Keeping the back of that neck long. Take one more breath. And inhale, slow, come all the way up. Now, if you're doing one side, make sure you do the other side. If you're sitting back on the heels, let's tuck our toes, sit back on the heels. You can always stay up on the shins if this doesn't work on your knees. Take a moment and close your eyes. Take your gaze within. My life is my practice. Very good. And then come forward, breathe in. Good. Cross that left knee behind your right knee. Go Mukhasana. Open up your feet. Actually, let's go for the calf stretch first. So we're going to go for the traditional form of the pose. This may not work on all of our bodies, so please listen to your body. If it doesn't work, you just come out. You're going to actually bring your shins in. It's really helpful actually to have a block here. This feels more like a calf smusher than a hip opener, but we'll get to the hip opener. And how often do we really get to support those calves? So squeeze the legs in, and this is a very big pose that requires both strength to keep the balance, and it's nice again to have a block for your hands, but also to surrender so that your calves can actually get a really nice stretch here. See if you can take one more breath. Come forward. Now open up the shins. Sit between the feet. You may need a block here to sit between the feet. If you don't have a block and it's too much on the knees, come on your back, right knee on top of left knee, lay down. Hold outer edges of feet or shins. Okay? Good. Take a couple breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. The more I open up my feet away from the hips, the more intense the pose is going to become. If I can take some of the rounding out of the upper back and feel as though you're tipping your pelvis forward toward an anterior tilt. Turn sideways so you can see that. So from the lumbar spine sticking more out to moving more in, and this chest coming up tall. And again, I might need a blanket or a block under the hips to do that. And from that space, we move forward. Good. And then inhale, slowly come up. And we're going to move to a wide leg straddle. So I'm going to turn so I'm facing you. You can stay the same direction unless you like to be on the mat the whole time. Here again, you may need a blanket behind you. Flex your feet. Use your hands to help your low back here move in and up. Lift your chest nice and tall. And we're going to twist. So we're going to take our left hand in front of us and our right hand to the outside of your right leg. Lift your chest. And exhale, turn and twist your torso. And begin to walk yourself forward. You may not go very far towards your right leg. Your drishti is going to start to go down towards your shin. Or you can even, some of you, it might be a little bit more towards the floor. Sometimes it's pretty easy here for the eyes to start to close, and that's okay too. Good. Inhale, come up. And I'm just going to stay facing all of you. We're going to come to Gomukhasana on the left side. So left leg is going to cross over right leg. You may need to come forward into that tabletop and just allow your knees to align one on top of the other. Open up the feet, get any props you need, chest nice and tall. And exhale. Before you fold, think of that tilt of the pelvis. And right now my gaze, my drishti is to the floor. It's slightly in front. And if there's room to go forward, maybe you grab a block and let your third eye rest on a block. Keep your sitting bones anchoring down. There's a big difference for ourselves, and we have to be able to discern where that line is of avoiding our feelings. We want to actually give space to feel in the moment what we are feeling. But it's also noticing that line of, or am I pursuing a narrative that is unhelpful and even harmful for myself and for others? Come all the way up. And often, and it is the latter, take the wide leg straddle again. We're kind of just creating this continuous narrative that isn't always very helpful. Meet Luna. Hands behind you. Lift your chest. And take your right hand to the inside of the left leg, left hand to the outside of your left leg. And begin to walk yourself forward. Maybe some of you reaching your opposite hand, so right hand to outer left leg. And the key here is that you're not straining in your neck. So you're not trying to force and look up.
Let your neck, we always want to remember the neck is an extension of the spine. And so having the neck be a continuation, the cervical spine, the upper part of the head being in alignment with the rest of your spine. Good, nice and slow. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, gently bring your legs together. Let's come all the way down onto the back. Hug your knees in towards your chest. I want you to keep your right leg in, extend your left leg long, and we're going to take a variation of a twist. Right arm, open it out to the right. Take your left hand to your outer right leg and only go across until the knee is about in line with your hip. And I want you to push down with your right hand against your your left hand, against your right leg, and just ever so slightly lift up with your outer right leg into that hand, and just notice that release in the outer hip. Good. And then inhale, slowly bring that all the way back up. Set that right foot to the floor. And you're going to twist to the same side. Your right knee will go on a diagonal to the left. And you're just going to get a nice opening through the front of that hip. It's a little more active here than passive. Good. Then come back to center. Bend your left knee in. Hook your right ankle above your left knee and thread your hands behind the back of the hamstring. Take a breath in. And take a full breath out. Keep the left leg to your chest. Extend your left leg or right leg long. Hold the front of your left shin now for a moment. Breathe in. Exhale, empty it out. Now let your left knee come a little bit away from you so your knee is more above the hip. Right hand is coming to outer left leg. Your left arm will open up like a T. Roll to the outer edge of your right leg, right foot, and your right hand is going to gently push against your outer left leg, and your left leg, ever so gently, is also going to lift up into that hand. Your drishti can move towards your left palm. My life is my practice. Finding that balance of being able to have strength, which is what's happening here on this side, but also having surrender and trusting. Good, come back up. Let your arms both be in a T shape now. Left foot to the floor, breathe in. Now your left hip was just in flexion here, so we're just going to give it a moment to go into extension. Extend that left knee towards the diagonal, back right corner of your mat here, or front right corner, maybe depending which way you're facing. Come back to center, breathe in. Right foot to the floor, exhale. Inhale, left leg. Bring it on top of and just above your right knee. Flex your foot and bring your ankle bone outside your right leg as you pick your right foot up off the floor and thread your hands, behind the back of your right hamstring. Figure 4. Breathe in. Breathe out. Back of your neck is long, breathing in. My life is my practice. That is your focal point. Your mantra becomes your focal point. Or maybe you have a song off of your mat that when it becomes your anchor, that when you find yourself getting swallowed in the moment from an unhelpful narrative that's going on, you start humming your song. And then let go. Both feet to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. Curl up into a tiny little ball. Tighten every muscle in your body for 3, for 2, and release it all down. 1. Shavasana. Turn your palms up. Let your legs open and close your eyes.
This is where it's the tendency of the mind to really begin to wander. And the drishti of your eyes being open and focusing on a point. Now, they may be closed, they may be half open, half closed. And so the mantra, if that mantra, my life is my practice, isn't helpful, just saying to yourself, breathe in, breathe out. And you're not trying to control the breath. In fact, the mantra is almost following the breath of the intelligence of your own body. As your body begins to breathe in, you say, breathe in. As your body starts exhaling, you anchor it to remind it to breathe all the way out. If you have more time, stay longer. Otherwise, begin to move your body. Stretch your arms over your head. Bend your knees, connect your feet to the floor, and wait for your exhale to gently roll to your right side. Inhale, start to come up. Palms together at your heart space. As we leave the mat, we remember the potency of this inner superpower, our ability to choose our attention. And it's so helpful to have an anchor for yourself, whether it's a song, a mantra, just reminding yourself 5 deep breaths. Something that brings you back to this moment. Drawing thumbs to third eye. Thank you, yogis. Thank you for being here, sharing some time on the mat together today. Namaste. Until next time.